want to welcome you this morning to the weekly review. It's really about the current events and what's going on today in the real estate market, specifically New York. It's hard to believe. It's been a year already that this pandemic has been going on, and it's had a great effect on the landlords and the retailer and basically everybody in the real estate space. What we're seeing is that a lot of retailers are not paying the rent, and the landlords are suffering. Now, some landlords, like the institutional landlords, are in better position, right? Because they have deep pockets, they have the affordability, they don't want to lose the tenant because they're going to replace them with who? They'd rather keep who they have, so they're going to do deferral. They may even give some abatements to the rent. They're going to do whatever they need to do to try to carry them through the May, June, July this year. We're going to start to come out of it, and people will be working again, and the retail will be coming back again, but they still want to have those tenants in place. Some of the tenants, however, are a little more playing the game, so to speak. If they're not necessarily the gym or the restaurant, they're just taking into the fact that the political atmosphere, vilification of the landlord, don't pay your rent, moratorium on evictions, moratorium on rents. This is causing people to think, really, do I really have to pay? And a lot of people aren't paying. So this has a dramatic effect, but more so on the smaller landlord. And not that they don't have any money, the smaller landlord, but take a guy that has a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 complexes, maybe 10, but he doesn't have the deep pockets to sustain himself during a collapse of 15 months of no rent. How does he pay his mortgage? How does he pay his taxes? How does he pay his utilities? And imagine this, imagine a loan coming due and going back to the bank and saying to the bank, I need to renew my loan. The bank goes, you're not even paying your bills now. I'm not extending the loan. And there's a lot of people suffering. But think about this. You'd think to yourself that maybe like the small gyms or the small or small restaurants. No. You have names like Petco, Hugo Boss, Michael Kors, The Gap, the NBA. You have some major players out there that are just not paying. And they definitely have the affordability. Now, one interesting point that I want to bring up is in the contracts, there's something called force majeure. And what does that mean? It means that something extraordinary happens, hurricane, terrorism, a volcano, something like not in their control at all. They can get out of the deal and not pay the rent, especially if they have things in there like pandemic or epidemic, which is possible, not always there, but they're looking for things to cling to so that they can not pay the rent. And most of the big guys, I mean, let's be honest, they know what they're doing. They're going to wait a few years, they're going to go through legality, and they're going to owe millions of dollars, and they're going to settle for 50 cents on the dollar or 30 cents on the dollar, and the landlord is going to have no choice. But the small landlord may be out of business, and that's really troubling. Please stay tuned for more weekly reports on what's going on in the economy and real estate today in New York.